Hello, everybody. I'm Toby Shifsky. I'm Vice President of Kaplan Real Estate Education, and we're here today with Julio Orozco. Julio, how are you?
Good morning. Good. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. If you guys haven't seen Julio before, he has been a previous guest on Real Expert, and backed by popular demand, he's going to take us through kind of the mastering of real estate content, social media and video strategies, that kind of convert. We're going to be talking a lot about a platform where our real estate accelerator students get 6 months free access to, called Kaydoh. And as a matter of fact, at the end of this presentation, Julio's going to give out a link that you're going to be able to access the assets that he prepared specifically for this webinar. And so if you don't know who Julio is and haven't been here before, I'm just going to cover a quick thing for you. Julio is a highly regarded real estate professional who's committed to guiding clients through every step of the buying and selling process. He specializes in residential property sales, new construction, relocation assistance, and more. Julio is known for his unmatched dedication, market expertise, outstanding client service, which has resulted in, and this is pretty impressive, about 98% of Julio's transactions come through referrals and repeat clients. And I can tell you one more thing. Julio shared with me that he's in California right now, working on a deal that he received a listing from an agent who is retiring from the business but is looking to turn over his book of business. And Julio gets that kind of trust. So I do know that nobody turns over their clients to somebody they don't trust and does a good job. So Julio, we're glad you're here today to share your knowledge with our students.
Yeah, so excited just to be able to give back and be able to, share and have opportunities that were given to me to others as well. So,
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and jump in.
yeah,
I think we've got it established. You're the right guy for the job today. And I know that our people are excited. Look at this. I've seen people still dropping in. If you just jumped into the session, go ahead and throw into the chat kind of where you're coming from. I just saw somebody from my hometown where I grew up in Minnesota, and I wonder if I know them. Uh, yeah, look at that. Carrie. Very good. Stillwater, Minnesota. Well done. All right. So, Julio, let's start off. I know I
yeah,
got a lot of stuff to get through. Also, I want to let everybody know that Jamie Cash and Jenna Lucas are in the chats with the participants also. They're from Kaplan. Jamie will be dropping in some links for everybody to be able to grab and copy and click on so that you can jump out to some of these resources that are available. And I can tell you, if you currently don't have Kaydoh, this online tool we're going to talk about today a little bit, Jamie's going to also drop in a link to 6 month free access. So go ahead and hang around for when that gets released. So let's do this. Let's jump right in. Julio, how can a brand new agent? Oh, wait a second. I got to ask a poll. Actually, 'cause I want to know how many brand new agents we have in the audience so that you can kind of tailor how we're going to talk about today to who's actually in
yeah.
the audience. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to ask a poll question. Hey, if you're on your phone, you might have to slide a screen over to see where the poll is. Otherwise, go ahead and take this poll, everybody. Your your polling results are anonymous. Nobody else is going to see what your answer is here. What we do see your name on is in the chat, obviously, so everybody, you know who everybody is and where they're coming from in the chat. But on the polls, they're all anonymous. Love it when everybody can play along, and so that we know how to gear the conversation. And yeah, oh gosh, lo and behold, they're coming in. Also, I always share the poll so everybody can see what the results are. So how long have you been in real estate, right? Currently taking classes, which is super cool. Less than 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years, 10 plus years. Or gosh, you know what? I'm not even in class yet. I'm not licensed. I'm looking to get licensed. Look at that. We're got 7% of the people are looking to get licensed. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results. So here we go. Almost 60% of you are taking class licensing fresh. Right. I think of all those people that have been in the business, like we have 6% more than 10 years.
Mm.
If you think back to when you were sitting in licensing class and all the stuff you know then and knew then and all the stuff you know now, there's a there's a big chunk of information in there. Less than 3 years, 21%, 3 to 5 years, 4%, 5 to 10 years, 2% of you. and 10 plus years, 6%. So good. We've got a pretty good smattering. We've got a lot of new. I can tell you this. We're going to cover some stuff, and I know how Julio operates a little bit. We've done this before in a previous one, and I can tell you, everybody's going to get something out of this. And the fact that you're here and you've been in for 10 years, you're going to get something out of this. And plus, I would ask you to share. If you got some knowledge, play along in the chat and share your knowledge in the chat. Everybody gets something out of it then. So let's do this. Stop sharing the results. And Julio, how can a brand new agent, all right? So,
Mhm.
and once again, I'm asking for everybody to play along. How can a brand new agent use Kaydoh to generate interest, even when like they're sitting in licensing right now and
Yeah.
they're all anxious and they're ready? They don't even have a listing.
Yeah.
So, and the key I think about this is if I've been in the business 10 years and I wanted to reinvent myself for what the new world is, I would be thinking about how do I do this if I had no listings? How would I do this if I didn't even have a book of business already? And so I'm sure you're going to cover it. So how would they generate interest without listings?
So that's like when that's a great question, and here's why. Because as a new licensee, I would say while you're taking your classes, um, highlight what topic and what section of that topic excites you. Okay. So for instance, if contracts excite you, highlight, okay, contracts, the topic of the contract, let's just say the real estate purchase agreement, right? Excites you, like just knowing the ins and outs, intricacies of it. Then take a part of that contract and then focus in that part of that contract. And then now, because one, you're excited, you're passionate, when you translate that into a quick 60-second video and build around that a Kaydoh page, it will probably be your best page you'll ever do. Why? Because you're showcasing what you're excited about, what you know, and then obviously how people will immediately trust you because you know that part of the contract inside and out. Make sense?
Super interesting. Yeah. So let me kind of lay it back to you. Social media,
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
is about content. We hear all the
Right.
time, oh, I'm a content producer, right? And we got
Yeah.
some people who are really good content producers, but they may not be the best agents. But what you're saying is you got to create some content, and why not start with something you're passionate about?
Correct.
Why don't you start with something that's maybe not even your own material, but it's actually absolutely applies to your profession now,
Yeah.
and then demonstrate your passion about that piece and your understanding,
Hmm.
which as a new agent, right, you can pick a part of a contract and understand it very well.
Yeah.
You might not understand how it's applied everywhere, but for this is your content. You set the
Yeah.
parameters,
Correct.
find the passion, and and now you've got something to work from.
Correct. And so to give you an example of that, is we're already, halfway through the year of 2025, right? So in California, there was a lot of new laws implemented in 2025 in regards to real estate. And so I'm very passionate about just knowing the insides and outs about those laws. And so when that got released, while everyone in the room was like, oh man, we got another 25 laws that we got to memorize. We got another 25 laws that we got to discuss. How we're going to do that? In my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I cannot wait to build something out because now it gives me an opportunity to translate something that I'm passionate about. But at the same time, I already know in my mind that whether it's a past client, a current client, or a future client, they're going to see a quick video clip of me being, again, passionate about that.
Got it.
So it can
Mhm.
be something similar to, hey, Toby, just wanted to send you a quick text message letting you know those 25 new laws that just got implemented here in California for the year of 2025. Click the link below. All of that information is done. It's going to be on there for you to know. And just reach out to me if you have any questions.
So
Simple, right? But effective. Um,
yeah,
that is actually a real live event that happened in my life this year. When I released that, I not only got a listing out of it, but I got a buyer out of it.
passion.
Hmm.
You found a spot you like. And,
Yep.
and here's the kind of funny thing. It seems to me like it almost self-selects, right? So
Yep.
people will get that, and if they don't have any current real estate needs, they might not look at it. But if they're
Mhm.
thinking of buying, or
Mhm.
they're thinking of selling, or they're
Correct.
thinking of anything with real estate, it triggers the mind to go, I should probably know that, right?
Correct. Correct.
So I think about this and I think about, people who maybe aren't contract savvy or whatever. Like I have a landscaping background. I used to own a landscaping business back in the day, right at college, and my brother
Yep.
and I, and did hardscapes, retaining walls, patios. And I think about myself now, and I think about, if I had to create a message and I was brand new to it, and it's something I was passionate about, why couldn't I create a message about the value of good landscaping? And
Yeah.
or here's the latest trend, and if
Yeah.
you're looking to sell, here's what people are looking for. I mean, a video,
Yeah.
impactful, powerful, simple message, anything that you're passionate about, really.
So that goes actually to a tip that I was going to bring up as well, that I call it the vendor recommendations, right? So
Ah,
for a new agent that is going through the courses or just got licensed, um, everyone, we all know everybody on this page. There's 148 of us. We all know vendors. We all know people, right? We know landscapers, contractors, um,
wow.
house cleaners,
Electricians, plumbers.
electrician, plumbers, right? The list goes on, right? And so take a moment to again highlight those vendors in a quick video, and then translate that into a Kaydoh page. But again, it gives you an opportunity to, say, hey, by the way, here's my, and you don't have to, that's another thing too that I have realized through the years, and something I'm constantly engaging with realtors is don't overwhelm the client with information, like spread it out. So
Drip it.
this month you can say, hey, this month we're going to focus on landscaping. Here's all my landscaping resources. Here's the top five water resistant plants that don't require much maintenance, but however, these are the beautiful recommendations that they require, whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
And so now, again, it's all about just releasing information that's going to be valuable. So then that way, anytime they're thinking now, okay, now it's the time to make that move, they're going to always be thinking of you because you're releasing valuable information that a typical homeowner is constantly looking for and is constantly, and even if they're not looking for it, they're going to think like, oh, you know what? I remember seeing this about, you
Ah,
know, this that Julio sent me about plants. Let me go back to him. Let me reach out to him. And that's the whole goal is for people always wanting to reach out to you for everything. I mean, I
yeah.
have clients that
You're
reach
the
out.
you're the real estate specialist. You know
Yeah,
everything about real estate,
yeah. I have
right?
people reaching out to me like, "Hey, do XYZ, a resource, right? Plumber or whatever the case." I'm like, "Yeah, here, let me send you something. My appliance broke. What do I do?" And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Here, let me send you somebody that I personally use already." And so again, it goes back and forth. But when it comes down to them making a decision, you're gonna be the first one they're gonna call.
Yeah. Super cool. And I know we're going to show everybody kind of this Cato
Yep.
platform, but you can use any sort of social media campaign. You can go Insta, you can go, Facebook. You can do this, but you want to have a distribution, to the people that you want to make sure you're reaching and contacting. It can be relatively inexpensive, but what it does is by connecting through their needs about stuff about the home, the house. I mean, I'm even thinking, I got stakes going through my front yard with little ribbons on them, pink and blue, because there's a big major road construction project going on. That's an opportunity as a change in a community, a tax law change, a school bonding, whatever. It's your opportunity to touch people uh, where they are and things about their home and about the value of their home and about their community and cementing in. Super.
Correct. And so, like, to kind of tie this question up, I would say the goal of this question and how to tie it and bring it all together is to establish literally authority and offer value even without a listing. Again, positioning yourself
Uh,
as a
yeah.
knowledgeable local resource. That's the whole goal of creating something around this question.
Yeah. Become the local resource.
Yep.
Love that.
Mhm.
Love that. And that's true for really, like I said, brand new agents. You don't have a listing. Well, then sell your expertise, sell your local knowledge, sell
Correct.
so that you're that become that resource. And the beauty of this is you're selling it, but you're not selling it. You're just offering it. You're just laying it out there for people.
Yeah. And Toby, I love what you just said is become the local resource because once you do get your license and you start doing open houses, the number one thing that will sell also a house, it's not just the property, but of course, we always hear this in real estate, location, 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 right? So
Uh,
by the time you get into an open house, guess who's going to be an expert in that? Is going to be that agent that became that local resource. Why? Because that agent that became that local resource knows exactly how far things are from that property. And so when a client walks in there and they're not working with an agent, that gives you an opportunity to seal the deal and say, here's why you need to pretty much work with me because I'm not just, here presenting a property, but I'm also your local resource. And that was the behind the scenes education that you did, but that is now allowing you to showcase it up front, and people will gravitate that,
yeah.
and that's how you'll pick up clients.
So I know we're going to show kind of what this looks like, right? Like, and then because you can create a video and you can shoot it out once, and that's great,
Yeah,
and it lives on that platform. But I think what we're talking about today is how do you leverage that further? How do you maybe create assets
correct.
that you can just cut and paste into another message, a personal message to somebody who maybe hasn't seen that video somewhere else or that message somewhere else. And that is kind of one of the things that Kaydoh I find it's so appealing about that platform. And maybe I think we're at the point where maybe you can lead us through a simple lead gen campaign using Kaydoh, or
Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem sharing that
yeah,
real quick. So let me let me share my screen with everybody.
yeah,
And then, and again, all of this is going to be released to you all. But here's kind of like I created this page that I was talking with you guys about the laws and propositions. This is really how it looks like. I did a quick video talking about the laws and propositions that's attached to this. And on here, I then added what those laws are. So when they click on it, here's a new general laws. Boom, it's a PDF and it breaks everything down. Here's a
did you
federal law.
create that PDF or did that come from somewhere else?
This actually came from a local title company. And which
Got
again,
it.
I didn't have to, besides downloading it, that was
Yeah.
it. That's all I had to do. So I'm not
So
spending a ton of time trying to create content. It's
yeah.
just taking the content that's being released to us by all of our resources and partnerships we have as realtors. And then, so this is kind of the new laws. So same thing with this one. This came from my local title company. And then boom, it breaks everything down. And now again, if I want to focus on just one of these laws, buyer representation agreements, which is a big topic, right? This is a great opportunity to explain, and do a video, but at the same time, redirect everybody to this kind of page where
Got
they'll
it.
be
So,
able,
so this page is on Kaydoh, correct? This is the Kaydoh
this is
product.
Cato, correct?
And guys, there are other products out there, but we're just going to concentrate on Kaydoh because that's what Julio uses, and it is what is recommended for
Right.
our real estate accelerator students. And then you guys, there's going to be a link that's going to get you a 6 months free.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that! Jamie Cash just put it into the chat. So if you got the chat up, grab that link, click on that, so you can go to there afterwards. But this is a tool that allows you to basically package information in these tiles. Like if I see there, you got the Mills Act, you
Right.
got the second one over is the new general laws, and then you
Mhm.
have the new real estate laws, then you got capital gains tax across. Those are just packages that
Yeah.
you've grabbed, either created the asset in a video, or
Mhm.
you've created a PDF, or you've gotten somebody else's PDF. It could even be links to other websites. You've just
Correct.
packaged it in a view that people are used to. It looks like you've built them a private website, is what it
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah. And so, and again, this is, property taxes and all of that, right? So, and the
Ah.
beautiful thing is everything
There's
on
not a single listing on this. This is all,
so the only thing that's listed on there is where people can, it says view our active and sold homes. So if they
Oh,
click on that, it then takes them, redirects them to what are properties that
got
we
it.
have recently done,
So
so
if I'm a new agent, I don't have that tile, but man, I got
yeah.
all the other expert.
Exactly. But you have so if you're a new agent, you pretty much got everything except for this one tile,
Yeah.
which is a lot of information that again, it's valuable to put out there. And the beautiful thing about Kaydoh is when I go to Instagram, I can then upload a quick video. Hey, you want to, I can say something like, hey, I'm here to explain to you what are the 20 or remind, let's say I'm going to do one today. Let's just say I'm going to go on there and say, hey, we're halfway through the year. Here's a reminder of the 2025 laws that went into effect that I'm still being asked about. Click the link down below. Boom. Once I add the Cato link on Instagram, now it's going to redirect everybody to this page. And so now I'm able to, again, get my information out there, get the resources out there, but at the same time, people are seeing more than just one quick topic or one quick
Yeah.
60-second clip.
Well, and now it's your page. You've created it.
Right.
It's your face on there. It's your video,
Correct.
and now you're the expert real estate taxes and new
Correct.
laws in California.
Right.
And look at you've got reviews up. You got
Yeah. And that's
and that could just be your tax page. You could also have
yeah.
another one just for home values
Yeah.
or
So that, which is a great example is going to be something like this. So since we are going into, let's see here, a good one to do is as a new agent. Here, I'm going to use this one. This one here was created actually last year, and I'm going to actually go in here, just change my background. That's all I got to do. The video, there's no date to the video because on the video I would made sure that I didn't include the date. So this here portion which says back to school 2024 will change to back to school 2025. The background where it says class of 2024, it'll say class of 2025. That's the only changes I'm going to be doing. However, on here, they have a back to school checklist. Again, this is something my local title company gave me. I didn't have to do anything or create anything. I just pulled it, uploaded it, created a quick video, and I said, hey, as we go into school this coming month, this is a great opportunity as a parent myself of two children, a kindergarten. At that time, it was a kindergarten and a fifth grader. Here's a great way that it's helping me stay organized, but as well helping my kids stay organized with the expectations of what we're going to go into this school year, right?
Right on.
So,
We got a couple questions, Julio, coming in. So, can you go back to that PDF from your title company? Did you have to ask them for permission first, or is
no,
there
the
a name
beautiful
on it?
thing is the beautiful thing is any title company, and I know this across the states, they all of this information's right off of their own websites.
Yeah.
And so I just go in there and type whatever I want, and then I just pull it, download it, upload it. And as an agent, we're also taking the liability, and that's the biggest thing that I love about this is that I'm taking the liability off of myself and placing it back on the title
Yeah.
companies.
So scroll down because I think you have the title company. It shows
Yeah.
it's the title company stuff. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
other thing. So you're not claiming it's yours. This
yeah,
is this is the title company stuff.
yeah,
People
yeah,
can contact the title company. It
yeah,
works even better if you've got a relationship with the title
yeah.
company
Correct,
for business wise. Great,
correct.
great.
And and so like easy breakfast ideas, I just took, I just went literally to the Food Network and I said, what is the, 29 kid-friendly breakfast ideas, right? I typed that
Yeah,
in, I
right.
grabbed that, and then see, now I have that on here. And so again, it doesn't necessarily have to be related to real estate. It can just be something that is being, again, resourceful to the type of, page that you're building out. So what
Man, I'm
question?
looking at that apple with all the slices and the granola in between them all. I'm afraid you'd just get a bag of granola and an apple at my house and, chew them together. That's how that would be. That would be a
And then here's a big one here where it says market update videos. If you can see that's locked. And the reason why I have that locked is because if somebody did click that, now they have to fill out this form, which then just created for me an opportunity to now actually have a lead.
got it. Cool.
So everything else I give out for free, except you want to know an exact video of your market, it's gonna cost you now your information.
Hey,
right?
I know this might be a little bit far out, but I did see a question that says, wait, 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 how do you link from Insta to this?
It's so on the back end of Kaydoh, you're gonna have these are all the pages, by the way, that if you can see, I have 12 pages of pages going.
Oh.
I
So
use
each one of those pages
our
is
landing pages.
a landing page with
Yeah.
multiple tiles on
Yeah.
it with assets in it. Yes.
Yeah, correct. And so
Okay.
anytime you're going to share something, I can just click share to social media from that page. I can then just copy and paste. Or what I like to do is I go in here, put copy shareable link. I copy it, I save it on my notes. And so when I go onto my on my phone, when I go onto Instagram, I just click the link where you can add a link after I upload a video or a picture, and then that's where I drop this link.
Got it. So
So,
after you upload a picture, it says add a link, you drop
yeah.
that link in.
Huh?
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Uh,
That's kind of how that works.
Super cool. Super cool. All right. So, what do you think the best way? I mean, what do you think the best way to promote Cato links to maximize engagement? Is this it? Is this part of what we're just talking about by dropping it in at Insta, or what are you thinking?
So there is so many different ways I do. So the beautiful thing about Cato is, so let me just go back to my back
Well,
dashboard.
let me ask you, is Cato kind of the hub of your marketing machine? Is this
It's
where you,
everything of everything.
it's everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
my listing presentations, buyers presentations, open houses, again, lead generation, business cards, everything of my business functions off of this.
Got it. And I think you told me you can do it all from your phone.
I can do it from my phone. This for this session is gonna be a little tough to go
Yeah.
into, but um, AI is now incorporated into Cato. So there is ways that we can now text message all of my database, utilizing AI that sounds like me, that will then drop these pages individually to my database without me even really doing anything. So, but that's for a different session. But again,
Yeah.
everything I share that because everything I do revolves around Cato.
So I think the key here is, how do you find it? And if it's not Cato, but got everybody, I mean, if you've been in the business for 10 years and you have never done anything, you got to find a platform. You got to find a way to connect visually. And here's the thing I've loved about this platform, uh, or platforms like this, I should say, but for sure this platform, because I know it actually fairly well, is it allows you to reuse your assets with
Correct.
multiple potential clients, prospective, targets, prospects, and every one of them gets the opportunity to feel special about their experience when they receive the link to come to and look at and see a video from you to see these assets. But the work on my part is simple, right? I mean, I'm reusing, I'm cutting, I'm pasting, and like you said, I could even reuse from year to year by being smart about how I create the content of just updating a date on a background, and I'm good to go for the next year. Solid.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're
Sure.
good to go. And so here's I'm sharing real quick. So the beautiful thing is about QR codes, you don't have to go and get a third party QR code. Everything Cato builds everything in within its own system. And so if I wanted to do a public QR code is, um, for example, I'm doing something where I'm not focusing on lead generation. I just want to get information out, right? But it's branded
Yes.
to me. So I'm going to make that quote unquote public. So the moment somebody scans that, it becomes public information. Um, then I have a
Oh, look at that. I,
registration.
I just scanned your code on the screen and there I am. I'm at your
Yeah,
page.
that's actually I mean, for those that you want that can do that, I mean, this is actually the QR code for today's presentation, so you can actually already have it. So that way you don't have to wait for the link.
The big
Um,
reveal at the end, we just gave it away.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but the other QR code that see how it like changes
Oh yeah.
instantly. So the QR code that says registration, that's more if I'm going to be doing a buyer seminar. So like let's say I'm a new agent and I'm going after buyers.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a buyer seminar in my office. So I'm going to do flyers. I'm going to do email campaign, a flyer campaign, door to door campaign, social media campaign. This is the QR code I want to utilize because the moment they scan it, they have to register for that event.
Oh,
And so now it's doing two things. One, it's giving me the data that I'm going to need, but it's giving me the amount of people that I know are going to be at the event because they signed up. Okay.
got it.
And then this SMS is a way to just simply utilize this as a text message. So if I'm going to send this as a text message, it already gives me, like a filled out text message. It says, send me more information about lead generation without listings, how to use Kaydoh. So it'll just say, great, here's some information on lead generation. So if they scan this, it's going to create like a text message form for somebody to, like, I'm at open house, I have it on my flyer. I'm like, hey, you want more information? Scan it. They scan it. It immediately is going to say, send me more information about this property. And it sends it to them as a via text message. So there's three different ways to use these QR codes, but this is kind of a way that we utilize it outside from social media is utilizing QR codes.
Super cool. Super cool. So once again, how do you make it as easy as possible for people to access your content and who you are and share,
Yeah.
right?
So for me personally, I like to either just keep it public and that way it's public at all times. So the QR code, I'm big on QR codes.
Yeah.
My business cards have QR codes. It doesn't even have a picture of me.
Do you
Uh,
put it on your signs, your real
I put
estate
it on my
signs?
signs. I put it on the moment somebody walks into my open houses. I put them on all my flyer stands, on all my flyers. I put them on riders. Here's another big thing that I learned throughout. There's a good tip for the season agents on this call. Um, I have a rider that goes on top of my open houses. I have a pet peeve of seeing other agents putting open house signs at 7 in the morning when I know the open house is not going to be until 1 o'clock, right? Now, I know that, but the general public doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And so when a general public is running around at 7 in the morning seeing open house signs, guess what? You're actually irritating the public because they're like,
Ah,
oh my
what's
gosh,
that?
another agent trying to get their brand out and about. Like, so what I do with intentions is I created a rider, has a QR code on the rider. It has my picture, my name. Well, it has my picture, the times that I'm doing the open house. So it'll say open from 1 to 4, and then a QR code. Okay.
Yeah.
That QR code is dedicated to an open house page where I on the back end just go up and upload whatever open house I'm doing that weekend. And so
Sure.
I'm having my team go out, or even myself go out. I still, believe it or not, I still love putting open house signs out because I picked up listings that way where people see me out early in the morning and they know who I am. So they're like, wait, why are you putting your own signs? I'm like, because I want the public to see that I still do my work.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if I'm out at 7 in the morning putting open house signs, but I'm putting that rider, I'm letting the public know, hey, this house will be, or wherever these signs are
Yeah.
going, it will be open from 1 to 4.
And so you create a special landing page that
Yep.
has the assets you've cut and paste in because you
Correct.
know the neighborhood. Hey, here's
Correct.
your schools,
Right.
here's tax, here's blah blah blah, and then here's the house. Right?
Exactly. So it can look something similar to like this page, what you guys will have. This page was created for a buyer. So this is now for your mid-tier agent that just got licensed
Yeah.
or your seasoned agent that's on this call. I was referred this client, lives in the city of Morgan Hill, and even though they lived in the city, they're about to have their first child, so they don't really know the actual schools or the boundaries or what's what. And so what I did was I just created a quick video introducing myself because again, they were referred to me. I haven't met them in person.
Yeah.
But then I gave them, breakdowns of each community, of each school. So then like for instance, this school belongs to Paradise Valley Engineering Academy. This page here belongs to near Burnett Elementary. This page belongs to Jackson Oaks. And so I broke everything down within the city. So then that way, now they can go in there, and these are live links. So now they can go in there and literally see how many properties are in that area. So in this area, in Paradise Valley,
Ah.
there's only 3 properties
Wait,
listed.
that's live. So that actually takes a live link to if one of those
Yep.
homes sells and goes off the market, it comes off this thing.
Exactly. Or if it goes pending, it'll show on here as pending.
Got it.
And so like same thing with this one. It goes in here and then now it says, look at this area only has one property on the market, right? And so this gives you an ability to create relationship from the beginning. But
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
I broke everything down here for them. And guess
Sure.
what? This client now is like he was interviewing agents, but after I send him this, he's like, "No, I now know why my coworker referred me to you because now I can see that you've given me data that no one
Yeah.
else has, but you've taken the time to educate me from the very beginning."
Super cool. So I got a question in
Yeah.
the chat from Joy. Is this seminar about selling the Kaydoh app? The answer is no. In fact, you're giving out a free 6 months. You go do your thing, you can do it. But I think what we're trying to get at is how do you use social media? And I
Mhm.
think a lot of people think about using social media that I'm just going to post on Facebook or I'm just going to post on Instagram. And so, but what we're saying here is there are other platforms out there for you. There are platforms that will aggregate. There are platforms that will allow you to leverage what you've already done over and over in a neat package for a particular buyer or for a listing or for yourself, for your own self promotion, like you have. So you have to find ways to drive people to a destination where you are the expert. You're it. You're the one. And in this environment, like what Kaydoh does offer here, you control the message. As opposed to if you're on Facebook, yes, you got, but you're getting bombarded by advertisements, you're getting bombarded by nobody gets bombarded by outside voices when you can bring them to who you are. A lot of people do this through their own website, which can be easy or cumbersome in some ways. But looking for a product, looking for a tool that allows you to communicate two-way, to bring people to your environment, to set yourself up as an expert, I think is what's critical in creating kind of a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So
Mhm.
I think for those people who are interested in if kind of furthering their business, um,
Mhm.
being able to establish yourself as an expert is going to have to be key, especially in today's kind of market. We talked earlier, Julio, before the we started. Listings are up. There is inventory
Yeah.
out there. There still is a kind of a tricky part about the sale, right? And we talked about how do you win in today's marketplace? And you talked about it with me. Maybe we could just share that real quickly before we go into that next section. But you said, yeah, and I think what we talked about is you had to be dialed in. And so
Yeah.
maybe we could just share how are you going to compete in today's marketplace, and then talk about how using tools like this.
Yeah. So that actually ties into this last question we got from, I believe it's Colin. It says, I'm an investor, and now that I'm licensed, I'm mostly looking to motivate sellers that are typically looking for off-market sales, but I also want listings. How do I juggle both in this platform? That actually is a perfect way to understand you can do both in this platform, right? So if I'm going after off-market sales, again, I want to deliver that message by creating first and foremost a video that is going to introduce myself, the
Yeah,
goal of this page, and then the reasoning behind this marketing. So there's other tools out there. There's a company that we utilize as well, that if I'm gonna target a specific neighborhood,
yeah.
um, I give them, okay, this is my address I want. They will then text message 1,000 phone numbers around that address, but guess where it's being linked to a Cato page.
Uh,
And so I'm keeping my costs down, but at the same time, I'm being more effective than trying to do door to door or trying
yeah,
to pay someone to do, send out flyers and all of that. Right.
got it.
And so when it comes down to, placing yourself to be different, this is how you win deals because believe me, I'm in the Bay Area, I'm in Silicon Valley. Okay. And here in Silicon Valley, a lot of people are aware of Cato, but they're not involved or engaged in Cato as we are, as I am. And so what happens when I go to a listing appointment, again, I show my value. I don't, I used to do a lot of high-end fancy booklets and all that. Now I just show my iPad and I get a listing at the end of the day, at the end of the appointment, right? Because I'm showing everything visually and everything is nice and organized. Here's the biggest thing that you're also displaying is you're showing organization. People
That's true
need
too.
people are looking for organization in this kind of market. In a market where it's up and down, if it's a buyer's market, and then all of a sudden it becomes a seller's market, but then next thing you know, it's a buyer's market again, right? People are looking for organization. And so people are looking to see, okay, what agent is organized and what agent can provide me quick value to what is it that I'm actually going after.
Got it. Got it. So, uh, I mean, and we were talking about it a little bit, but maybe we can nail it home. How do you follow up, track or follow up with leads, using any platform? I mean, let's talk about the important concept of lead follow up, and then maybe you can demonstrate here how it works.
So the beautiful thing that Kaydoh does for me is that any leads, any tiles, I should say, that I do where I lock the tile, it actually falls into this category here that says leads. And so you can see it says page views. I have 20,721 views. Okay. And so 20,721 and um and I got 349 leads out of 20,721 views out of all my pages. That's a 59% engagement. 59. I mean, typically in anything we do, it's either like 0.1% to like 5%.
Right. Yeah, I know
And
for
so,
me, running a school, direct mail, I mean, I'm looking
yeah.
for 2.5% conversion rate,
And,
right?
and so what happens is that now just got all these emails, right? It gives me the source where it came from, right? So like this one, so let me just pull this up. It tells me lead generation. It came from actually our previous class that we did together.
Yeah.
Gives me their information and their email address, right? Because they probably got one, they filled out one of the tiles that was locked. And so it gives me that information. But like this one, it was a QR code. This is from an open house. So I did an open house for a developer in Los Altos and they scanned the QR code. I locked the QR code and then boom, I didn't capture their name or
Name.
email, but I captured a phone number, right? So it gives me an opportunity to give them a call, let them know, hey, you scanned the
Yeah.
QR code, you came to our open house. What's the questions you have for me, right?
Right on. Right on. I love it. We're getting some questions like, leads. What's a lead? Well, I can just kind of put it very straight. So if you're sitting in licensing class and you people who've been in the business for a long time, you realized, right? If you're in there 10 plus years, you realize that the real estate business is a lot of people, get into the real estate business, Julio, because they like homes, they like architecture, they like people. But really, when you're getting in the real estate business, to do it as a business,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting into it. You're getting into the lead generation business, the leads, meaning who's a potential client? Am I talking to the right people? Anybody who's a potential client, right, is a lead. Somebody who you can identify. Maybe they've even self-identified. They've contacted you by filling out clicking on your QR
Right.
code. They've identified that, hey, I'm kind of interested. That's a lead. And
Mm-hmm.
then how to convert that lead into a sale,
Mm-hmm.
that's the art of real estate.
Correct.
And then there's a science of real estate that says the more leads you have, the more closings you have.
Mm-hmm.
But the better you are at your art, the fewer leads you need in order to have the same amount of closings.
Correct.
So, and I'll just give one little tidbit for everybody who's on here. So, work with a very dialed in company that tracks first time agents, right? And when you get into the business, I would just throw up a question to everybody, and you can put it into the chat. When you're fresh and new into the business, they talk about having conversations with people about real estate, about having meaningful dialogue and discussion. And it's come down to a science, and the science is for how many conversations you have about real estate where you position yourself as an expert. And the conversation could be as simple as a cup of coffee with somebody, talking about, oh, what's happening in the real estate market in your area. Do you know anybody in real estate? Simple as that, a couple quick questions. That's considered a conversation about real estate where you are positioning yourself as an expert. Does anybody want to guess how many conversations you need to have about real estate? How many communications where you're actually positioning yourself as an expert and I'm in the business? How many you need to have in order to get one successful closing, one successful transaction? Guys, throw it into the chat what you think the answer is. Look at Shayla. I got to have one conversation. I'd love your confidence, Caleb. That's fantastic. 10 to 20. We got 10. This is like it's like an auction. Do I hear 11? Do I hear 11? I see 12. One. No, no. You guys are thinking about this wrong. This is like statistically, like how many conversations do I have to have? 50. We're a little bit closer with Alex, but you're still short, everybody. Ooh, Candace, you're still short. Daniel, I love it. I'm going way high. That's too high, Daniel, but maybe that many. I'll tell you what the national average is after almost 40,000 people using a goal setting tool that talks about and tracks how many conversations you have. It's generally, Gus is closer. It's generally 160, 160 communications, conversations about real estate for one transaction for a new agent. How are you going to find 160 people to talk to in order to get a transaction? You need tools. You need a giant list of people who you connect with all the time, and you connect with them start family, friends, but after a while you run through the 130 people and you're like, now how am I going to create more contacts, more leads? And Julio started this whole thing from the beginning and said, for some of you just starting in the business, you don't even have a listing. So how are you going to be able to generate more of these communications? Find something you're passionate about that has to do with real estate and create a tool that will drive people to you. Right? Mm-hmm. And I'll just leave you with this because we got people in here that are been in for 10 years. They know that you get better at it really fast. You will fail a lot in the beginning, but you will get better. And a 10-year veteran, do you know how many conversations a 10-year veteran has to have? About 80. So they become twice as effective. Mm-hmm. So how are you guys all going to create these leads? How are you going to do it to be able to talk to people about real estate in order to get a transaction? Because think about it. You want to sell 10 homes a year? How many conversations about real estate do you need to have? That's a lot. Well, Daniel, good on the math, Daniel. Right on, 1,600. Well done. All right. So Julio, in closing, any parting thoughts?
In closing, just to answer one of the questions in regards to the QR code, again, Kaydoh's system creates a QR code for every single page automatically. You don't have to worry about creating a QR code. It automatically creates it for the page within the system. So to answer that question.
Super slick. Super slick. So everybody, I know we're coming down to the end. Julio, I wanted to thank you for being here and all the attendees for playing along. I know we've shared the link before. If you guys want to try it, you go ahead and do it. You're on your own. You get 6 months on Kaplan, and then you do your own thing. And that would be kind of if you're not using something like that, go take a look at it, go somewhere else, but find a way to use a tool that allows you to aggregate those leads. Well, Julio, thank you again for being here today.
No, it was an honor as always, a pleasure, and just excited just to see again the amount of hunger there is in agents to go out and succeed in something that honestly we all can do as long as we just have the right tools, which the right tools are out there, and engage with people, which we know people are out there, so it's not that difficult. So
that's it, right? Do what you can, do as fast as you can. And everybody, I want to say thank you. You can continue the conversation over in the Kaplan community if you like. I just put the address up. I think Jamie Cash is dropping it into the chats. So thank you all for being a part of it today. And Julio, thank you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.